fun, right? It's all
Yes.
about the fun.
It's all about the fun. Shari, it's so nice to have you here. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. I'm really excited to um, help everyone that is getting interested in limb rebellion get to know you a little bit more. So thank you for being here.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
Great, cool. So for those of you that don't know Shari yet, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She is a Master Integrative Life Coach trained in shadow work by Debbie Ford and a certified boundary coach through the Levin Life Coaching Academy. She's also a certified Reiki practitioner, and Shari's specialty is helping people live happily after a broken, strained, or chaotic relationship. Shari went from being a petrified, self-loathing couch potato to a marathon runner. That is impressive, girl. Healing her autoimmune flare-ups through emotional education. Shari offers proven life skills that will help you learn to thrive in times of turmoil and raise your voice of your inner cheerleader by setting and maintaining boundaries. Shari incorporates her intuition and love for healing crystals to aid and support her clients' transformation. That's really exciting. I think if that definitely has got to get people very curious to hear more about you. And you're going to be speaking to us next Thursday, the 25th, about quieting the voice of your inner critic. Anything I left out of your bio that you want to add in and
Oh, I can't know.
all right.
Thank you for being so thorough.
I do what I can to please.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
No, I'm glad that people have this opportunity to get to meet you. So tell us a little bit more. Who has the voice of the inner critic? What is this voice of the inner critic?
So we all have the voice of the inner critic, right? We wake up in the morning and all of a sudden we'll have a thought, why did I say that? Or why did I do that yesterday? Or, oh my God, I can't believe, X, Y, and Z. And all of a sudden we have this like bat, this internal bat. And all we're doing is beating ourselves up day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute. And it becomes very exhausting. Some people's inner critics are louder than others. Sometimes there's just times when it's louder than others, but all of us have that voice. And my goal is to really teach people how to lower that voice so that you can gain insight and awareness, because when that voice is amplified and it's loud and it's telling us what we can and cannot do, how unworthy we are, how dumb we are, how selfish we are and greedy and blah, 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 blah. I mean, who can function?
Yeah,
Right?
true. That's true. Well, I imagine that voice, even when you love yourself and you're self-confident, that voice can still be there tormenting you in the back of your head. I imagine, what is that voice there for? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we speak to ourselves this way internally?
Right. So sometimes, the voice was developed very early on in our childhood, usually probably we under the age of, 8, where we have this, especially if some people grew up in chaotic homes, some people maybe not, it could have been a teacher, whatever, but we develop these belief systems and we operate based on this belief. So if we step out of, like if a stupid person, a person that feels stupid has a smart moment, which I'm guilty of, that belief system is kind of being rattled. And then the voice of the inner critic is like, why'd you do that? That's unfamiliar. So any unfamiliar pattern or behavior, even if you're trying to better yourself, can actually create almost an inner angst. And that inner angst is that voice of the inner critic.
That is very, very interesting. I'm sure we're going to want to hear more about that when you speak next week. So that's pretty cool. So you also mentioned you're going to be talking about boundaries. Tell us a little more about what boundaries look like and how that relates to the voice of the inner critic and what you'll be sharing next week.
So boundaries are a really interesting conversation because sometimes the fear of setting a boundary, the fear of saying no. How many of you are people pleasers, are just afraid to rock the boat, right? Afraid if they say no, they're not going to be liked or people are going to, abandon them. So, but the truth is boundaries are, I want to say, rules to live by in a positive way, because it's a structure. And what it does when we set a boundary, and it could be as simple as, I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. every day, because we are in control of the boundaries. So those people that are out there that are very controlling, it's really because there's a tendency to have a lack of control. But really, boundaries are within ourselves, and that's what raises the voice of the inner cheerleader, actually.
Interesting. How does that work? The more you set up boundaries, how does that inner cheerleader voice get to become louder?
Because sometimes when you set a boundary, have you ever set a boundary and in the moment it's very uncomfortable?
Yes, and it's definitely a skill I need to continue strengthening, but yes, I have, sure.
Yeah, so sometimes, like when we have to set a boundary with a family member, like you can't come over every day unannounced, or you can't call me 10 times a day, or you can't speak to me like that anymore. Sometimes the voice of the inner critic is fear-based. So it really is. So when you tune in and ask yourself, okay, what voice am I in? Am I in the voice of fear, or am I in the voice of faith? And the voice of faith would say, I am worthy. I am deserving of setting this boundary with this loved one, with this ex of mine, with my children. When my children were younger, I didn't even know that this was a boundary, but I said to them when they were little, if you need me to sign any papers, from the teacher or from the school, for a field trip, whatnot, do not give it to me in the morning. I am not a morning person.
Okay.
Do not talk to me before coffee. And my kids really did learn that they better give it to me the night before, because in the morning I wouldn't do it. So that's a boundary. And, if they would ask me in the morning and then I would do it, then am I overstepping my boundary, or am I overstepping theirs? So boundaries, it's really the meaning you assign to it, what you make setting a boundary mean. And if you shift the perspective and know that it's actually very empowering and liberating and raises your confidence, which in turn will create a healthy embodiment in your body. It's life-changing. Truly life-changing.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait for you to get into this more in depth next week. I think that is an incredible topic that so many of us need to hear. You're going to see my cat here in the background crawling up behind me.
You're going to hear my dogs bark. There's nothing, we're animal people.
We're animal people.
Set a boundary with the animals.
Yeah. Almond, I require that you are not present in my video. Anyway, no, I just think that it is a really, really powerful message, because as women, we do tend to be people pleasers.
Yeah.
Especially with all the transitions and things that have been happening the past year for so many people, kind of discovering your center and then putting up boundaries around that in this new context, I think is something that a lot of people are probably facing and curious about, and definitely would love to learn how to do better in their own lives. So I'm so excited for the message, Shari. It's amazing.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to be there listening to you every single minute and learn from you, and just so much wisdom and experience, and the power of the intuition also that you bring is going to be wonderful. So thank you so much, everybody. Next week, February 25th, Thursday, sign up for Levin Rebellion. It's free. I'll put the link in the comments, and we can't wait to see you there. Bye, everyone.
See you there. Yay, I can't wait.
See ya.
Bye.